So a lot of you guys didn't hear the story, so I'm gonna share this going in. Is this if someone could how do you find your calling again? How can you re-find your calling? What if your opportunity is either drying up or it's changing and you're faced with the idea of what do I do next? Now, we're going to be talking about your occupation. We'll be talking about your vocation. We're going to be talking about your calling. And by the time we get to the end of this, I'm going to show you how to use, for those of you who are spiritual and Christ believers like myself, we're going to show you how to use connection with the Spirit to reappropriate, remix your gifts. And I'm going to show you how to use AI, how to do the same thing as well, because anyone who's gone to a Mexican restaurant knows you can make like 385 dishes with just beef, beans, and rice. So sometimes we just need to remix it. A little bit more beef, a little bit less rice. But we're going to be talking about the remix today. And how do you remix your talents so that you can get optimum engagement, optimum performance, optimum harvest, right? We want more, and we should be able to do that with less effort. Now, especially in this age of AI, right now, you should be at least 3 times more effective than you typically are. If you see my eyes bouncing around, I'm looking at all the outlines we've got. But you might be stuck. You might be stuck where you're at, and maybe you don't even know it. About 8 days ago, 9 days ago, my wife and I we have this little local restaurant here. And as we were sitting there, they have bands that come in and play, and called Cafe 11, just up the road from us. And we were there just enjoying a drink. It was too hot, so we move inside where there's a band warming up. And they were pretty good. And well, it was 2 guys, one guy on a guitar and singing, another guy who was, backup bass. I don't know what he was playing. It was good. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, what separates this guy from, I don't know, like the top people? Why doesn't he go on something like, I don't know, like American Idol or something like that? Why doesn't he go and take this talent and go get in front of the big time? Because here we are in a very small venue. I think there were going to be 50 people tops that were going to be in this place on that given day. And it's interesting, as he's singing, there's a song that kind of, he's warming up. There's a song that struck a chord with my wife and I. And we're like, oh, this is kind of good. We looked him up, and he had a ton of followers on Spotify. And then we looked him up. The guy has a, what do you call those? Wikipedia page. Turns out he had won American Idol. And he happened to have won it just the year before the year we started watching, and it really actually, like, our family together was watching this and rooting for this. Now, we were rooting for someone who is today a huge, huge star. And here's this guy in front of us. And I'm just having these thoughts, like it all just happens, like real time, like right there. And he walks by and he says, "Hey, you guys come into the show?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think we are." And we had a brief talk with him about how we watched American Idol the season after he won, and how it really helped our family. And anyway, he ends up giving us tickets. He's like, "You guys are my guest tonight." So of course we went. At the end of the show, and this is what I want you to listen to. I mean, this guy killed it for 50 people. And I'm not saying that's not successful at all, but I wanted to find out from him, did he think it was successful? Is this what he loved? I'm just so driven to find out from people who are performing and living in their gift, like, what's it like? What do you think? So after the show, he invites everyone up, well, not invites everyone up. He sells his record, which we got in line to buy, but we got at the very end. And as we got into, as we're waiting, people pass through. I finally get up. It's our turn. We're the last ones there. I'm like, dude, I gotta know, do you love what you do? What's it like doing what you are made to do? Tell me. How do you feel? What do you think? Of course, this is like my little personal podcast with him. And he said, well, meh. I'm like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean, meh? He's like, well, I love playing. He's like, I'm like, obviously, your soul was poured out there. I could tell you loved what you're doing. He's like, yeah, but I don't love leaving my wife back in California. I don't love the long road dates. I don't love the fact that like my way of connecting to her, this beautiful person I love, is on FaceTime. That's the best I've got. And I'm like, oh. He's like, yeah, and the business is kind of grimy, and there's some people that are, in the music business that are, it kind of goes through like these bad things. I'm just asking. And what he says is what a lot of us, I think, say. He said, but what are you going to do? This industry is going to go on with or without me. This is all just a part of the job, a part of the job. And this is like, that's the thing that echoed in my mind as I left. This is a part of the job. This is a part of the job. I don't believe, guys, that work, the works that you were made for, were designed to separate you from the things that you love. As a matter of fact, there should be a beautiful interplay of all of these things. And if it's not, I'm just asking him, like, I'm looking at someone who's doing something. Obviously, he knows what he's doing. But could you be a little bit more imaginative? Could you play only local? Could you choose to distribute differently? Could you choose to do courses and classes? Could you choose? I don't know. But I do know that when we say this is the way, and we tie ourselves to something and say, well, this is the only way I can do this, we miss out on something that is, I think the real true opportunity of our day. So what is it that you like? Are there any, this is the way, and I've got to do this, and this is a part of the job? And are there any of those things that you're doing that you've just accepted? Or are you being an imaginative person? Are you open to the new opportunity? Because today's opportunity is not the same as yesterday's opportunity, and it sure isn't the same as last year's opportunity. Are you open to the opportunity that's in front of you? And are you innovating? Are you innovating? And if you think you are, let's dig into that. So the word innovate actually comes from the Latin word innovare, which means to make new. To make new. And so if you're doing the same thing you were doing a year ago or 3 years ago or 5 years ago, you're not innovating. Okay? But there's two words. There's the inno or the end, where like you're, and then the novare. The novare is to make new, but the in is like you work in. This is like this is the, I guess the Ant-Man quantum universe part. You go in and you look deeper at things and you say, how can this be made new? What new wrinkle? What new way? What is available here now? Your people, the ones you were meant to serve, they have new needs now. Markets have shifted, and they're going to shift. People have new fears, people have new desires, or maybe they're old, but they're just in a new frame. And so how we connect with people is changing all the time, or it should. Now, this guy is like, at least, listen, I'm telling the story. I'm not saying that this is him, but if you were to freeze someone and put them into that place, you're essentially looking at someone who has what I would say is a job, but that's not someone who has a vocation. A job is something where someone else writes the description, someone else tells you what to do, sometimes what to wear and when to show up. That's a job. Here's who you serve and how you serve them. Okay. Vocation comes from the word vocal or voca. It means calling. And a calling is something that your calling doesn't change, but how you exercise it does. So the message maybe doesn't change, but how you're able to bring the message does change. So A job is given to you by a company. Your vocation is given to you by God. You were made to serve a certain group of people. You were made to show up a certain way, whether it's the fun one, the inquisitive one, the listening one, the like this deep knowledge one. Like there are ways that you were designed naturally to show up. And when you mix those things together, you come up with a vocation. And a vocation can look 10,000 different ways. So an investor doesn't just invest in startups. An investor could they could invest in properties. They could invest in students. They could invest in minerals. There's like 1,000 things an investor could invest in. A salesperson, you're not born a salesperson. You may be good at listening and solving problems, but that could look 10,000 different ways. So I want you to rethink what you've done. I want you to to go in and look for the novare and novare. I want you to find a way to innovate so that your vocation is allowed to shift. There are new opportunities, there are new ways for you to connect with the world. It's interesting, this guy, by the way, what we bought was a vinyl record because it's the only thing that can't be sold online. So rather than anyway, that's a interesting metaphorical representation. One of my favorite heroes of all time, he actually was well, he shouldn't have been someone that would be interested in helping the people that he helped, but he was. He had a deep love for a group of people, and he had a deep knowledge of botany. And he lived in a land where it was getting ravaged and it was getting farmed so much so that in the off season, the soil which was depleted was just getting blown away. And he figured out a way to stop this from happening. It was, see if you can see this. I just drew this. There you go. It was a peanut. It's supposed to be a peanut, guys. All right. It was a peanut. And to the people of the time, that was the most worthless thing that you could ever grow. And so this guy, George Washington Carver, had to convince them that there were lots of reasons to grow the peanut other than to save their soil for their real crops. So it's like a secondary crop that covered the soil and stopped it from eroding. This guy came up with over 400 ways to use the peanut. And the root of his innovare, his innovation, was he went to God and he said, God, I want to help these people. Show me the secrets of the universe. God's like, that's too big, and you don't even need that. I'll show you the secrets of the peanut, according to George Washington Carver. And this man who was born a slave actually ended up saving Southern farmers by helping them. And even when they wouldn't understand and couldn't understand, he literally, he started the world's first, I think, mobile school. He created the Jessup wagon where he packed up all of his stuff. He showed them samples and all of this stuff. He brought the classroom to the farmers he was trying to help. That's innovare. That's innovation. That's changing and adapting towards the needs of the people that you're helping. And so as you're looking at like, well, what's my innovare? Well, I would say, first off, who are your people? Like, what are the people that you are drawn to and you want to help? And you may have different people groups that you're completely happy serving. I love doing things for kids. There's going to be some stuff that probably comes out of my bag of tricks. It's going to be stories for kids, or there might be affirmations for kids, or there might be some purpose finding tool for kids, or there's going to be something that happens from me for that world. I love it. And when I do that, it's not like I'm leaving all of these old things behind. It's just like I'm taking the parts forward that matter in that. Well, how do I get paid? Some of these things we can do without the need to get paid. Now, for those of us who are in a place of needing to get paid, I would say this: find a people that you love to serve, find their problem, and a part of the problem, which part of that problem can you address? That's the place where you can not only like, oh, serve, you can go help them to get a home loan, or you can help them to find property, or you can help. It's not about that. Now it's like, how can you innovate? What are the new tools? What are the new opportunities within the realm of their pain that you can show up and you can remove, you can heal, you can lift, you can make better. So we did this last week, but I think the sound was kind of cut out, and we're gonna just do. We're going to create a talent bank for you, and from that, we're going to use prayer. We're going to use AI, and we're going to ask, what are the other opportunities that are available for someone with this skill set who loves serving these people in this way? So we're going to build a talent bank, and we're going to ask AI and God, we're going to say, what are the other ways, other opportunities for me to show up with these things? So I'm going to ask you three questions because, well, maybe a little bit more than three. I can't limit myself to three. But these are all areas where your unique gifts show up. First, what is it that you're curious about? You're naturally curious about. For some of us, it's world events and politics. For others, it's science, and others, it's psychology. And for some people, it's understanding deals and finding value. And some people, it's growing and creating business. And other people, it's like, what are you genuinely curious about? Like if you were told you had to read a book and they told you it could be anything, what kind of books would you read? That would be a curiosity. Okay. So the next question I would ask is, how is it that you connect with people? Sorry, we have a salesperson I'm hearing at the front door. I'm like, oh, I kind of want to hear a sales pitch. The next question is, how is it that you connect with people? Do you lead people? Do you help people? Do you heal people? Do you teach people? Do you listen to people? Do you help them to reframe what it is that they're seeing? Are you a problem solver? Are you a question asker? Are you the fun? Like, do you create fun? What is it that you bring? How do you connect with people? Like, this is a part of your gift. Like if you were to have a podcast, or if you were to have, like, what persona would be the coolest one for you? Maybe you look at your heroes in the movies that you watch. Are you drawn to the protectors? Are you drawn, like, what is your hero? What does that look like? It's going to give you a clue in terms of the connection. And then finally, I'm going to ask you, well, not finally, what is it that you like to create? What are you good at creating? Do you create activities? I love to create lesson plans. I love to create curriculum. I love to create experiences. Maybe you like to create art or music, or maybe you like to write, or like maybe you carve, or like you cook. There's so many things that everyone's creative. If you think you're not creative, you're wrong. You are creative. Maybe you just haven't given yourself the time or liberty, but you're creative. All right, so we got those things. Those things inform. Now we're going to look at, like, what are the work things that you do? Like, I don't know, I'm good at talking to people. I'm good at serving people. I'm good at hearing problems. What makes you good at what you do? Think back to all of the best jobs you've ever worked. All of, like, your peak moments where you know that you were shining and it was in service of others, or it's almost always going to be in service of others. What were you doing? I don't know. Write it down. All of these things are part of your inventory. Okay, now multipliers. What are the things that we actually have that could be used? What is the time, money, and talent that you could use for whatever? You just have it. It's available. I'm going to go through. So this is your talent bank. We're gonna write that down. We're gonna keep that. And I'm gonna give you a really cool example of how someone I'm working with remixed and reconfigured and resaw her talent bank, basically, and it ended up connecting in such an interesting and poetic way with what she did. So top area realtor in her area. And things are not only are things challenging, but it's like it's her market's definitely an interesting market. We went through one of these together, and she writes down all of these things, all of these loves. Some of them are in that work zone that she's used to doing, and then a lot of them were outside of it. A lot of them had to do with the lifestyle that she got to live, and she loves paddleboarding where she's at. And it's interesting that as she's taking um, inventory of these things. She has like a bunch of paddle boards. She runs some a big charity for people who are doing these things. She suddenly comes to realize, like maybe on my off days I could do what I love doing, which is actually like creating these paddleboard experiences. And no sooner had she thought this up, and then it was kind of provoked by someone asking if she would do that for their family privately. But within a couple of days and almost no effort, she had 3 groups asking them to bring her out for these paddle tours. And the neat thing is, for her area, a lot of these people would be tourists who are interested in the lifestyle, which is actually what she's selling. Yes, she sells homes, but really she's selling the lifestyle to the people that want the lifestyle. So it's ended up creating this really, really cool ecosystem for her and a new way to reach out. She's fun. She's invigorated. She's fired up to go and reapproach what is out there. Now, anytime you look at any ideas or any alternatives, here's what I would tell you to do. I would say, first off, run it through the filter of the spirit. Hey, listen, man. Buddhists, people can have their mindfulness stuff. Like Christians can have their stuff too. And a part of it is, does it pass the love, joy, peace filter? Like when you're looking at this opportunity, are you scared or do you feel a sense of love and joy and peace? Right? That's the goal. We're not making any decisions out of haste or because we think we have to. That's what's happening for a lot of people out there, especially with AI. AI and social media. I'm seeing a lot of people who are getting sucked into the trap of doing something because everyone else is, and if you don't do it now, you're going to be behind. That's not the plan, bro. Okay? Find the thing that feels fun to you. It feels light. And that's the Jesus test, right? He says, "My yoke is easy, my burden is light." It doesn't mean there's no work. It just means it's the fun, it's the enjoyable, it tastes good. And even when someone else might not want to pick it up, you do. Okay? So let it pass through those tests. But you need to begin to imagine other ways of doing what you're doing. I'm not here to say AI is coming for your job or anything like that. Other people are, but a job is a job is a job is a job, my friend. Your vocation, your calling, no one can take away from you. You are uniquely qualified. There's no one else on the face of the planet before you or after you who's had exactly the ingredients that you do. There is no competition. So now we can be released to find new, innovative, fun, exciting, more powerful, more purposeful, more connected ways of serving others. So that's how we're going to innovate. That's how we're going to innovare. It's how we're going to make something new. What are you trying to make new today, my friend? I'm looking for questions because I will say this. One thing that is good is a coach. When you're trying to do any of these things and figure it out, you got to get out of your own head. And sometimes you need someone to reflect this stuff back to you. So that's what this is for. So for those of you who are paid school members, jump on in and we will begin that part. I'm going to go ahead and stop the live stream. Is that even live streaming? Who knows? I don't know. I don't think it was. That's cool. Who cares? So, yep, throw the questions in, and then we will we're going to rock it and roll it. So I'm going to throw the headphones on and let's see here to there. This was broadcast in a few different areas, but there's only one place I'm looking, which is on in the Zoom room. So what we got, y'all? Hang here for a second. I see nothing here. I'm not checking. If you put something into the, if you answer the text message, I don't really have a way of pulling that up today. So sorry. I guess I'll just text you back via that. Well, guys, I hope this was good. I hope it was good for you. And thanks for chilling with me on a Tuesday. Go be great, make it great. Go do something for someone else. Whatever it is that you need, go sow that into someone else, and look for the things that other people might think are too small and insignificant and not worth anything, and see if there's a way to put that to use. It might just